Hello, Peter.
Good morning.
So nice to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Pieter van Essen. I'm born in the Netherlands, so I'm from the Netherlands. This is my first time in India. I started my career in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Then I switched after 10 years into business. Did my master of special educational needs in the UK. And then I went into education.
Mm-hmm.
And I quit my job 2 months ago to have some more spare time and to have the possibility to work for PUM in Den Haag.
Yeah.
So this is my second mission, because last November I was in Pakistan at Gift University, and this is my second trip for PUM, and now I'm visiting LJ University
In Ahmedabad.
in Ahmedabad. And this is actually my last day of my visit. In India.
Can you tell us a little bit about PUM?
PUM is a non-governmental organization financed by the ministry in the Netherlands. They started in 1978, sending out retired CAOs, experienced CAOs, to all kind of countries, even within Europe, Eastern Europe.
Right.
Nowadays it's only outside of Europe.
Yes. Emerging markets.
Yes, emerging markets. Yeah. And then when I did my first mission for the International Red Cross when I was 22,
wow,
and they sent me to Cambodia, I heard about PUM and I met some people from PUM. And then I thought, okay, when I'm retired, I will become voluntary employee for PUM.
Yes.
But actually they skipped the age.
Yeah.
So now it's also possible when you are in the end of the 50s, 60s, that you can already do some projects for PUM.
Correct. I met one time the youngest PUM person. His name was Sven Decker, and he was in real estate. So I've been also coordinating with PUM for many, many years, and I have had the pleasure of having a lot of experts visit. And we've done a lot of programs in this very building here in the past regarding floriculture, dairy, tomatoes, sustainable energy, all kinds of things. And it's really great. You learn a lot from these PUM experts, I feel, because they go all around the world. They actually know what's happening on the ground. So very often the clients that they have are not aware of their real market. They're not aware about who their actual competition is. But these experts can help them. I've also had an instance where a PUM expert has connected with me after years because he was looking, his client in Bangladesh wanted a machine that would be available here in Ahmedabad for a project somewhere in Azerbaijan or something like this. So it's a nice way of how networking also happens through this PUM organization. Let's get back to you.
Yeah.
You've had a very fascinating career, of course, and besides education and business, you've also been in systemic leadership. How has this whole evolution happened, and what has motivated you to make these transitions?
It was always a dream, and I was never targeting on my dream, but I knew something would happen during my life. I don't want to say my career. And so I met at the right time, the right people. Mm-hmm. So when I was in healthcare, I met someone. We were, in the operation, the theater. Mm-hmm. It was an operation. And then he told me, okay, they asked me for Cambodia to work there at a hospital for the International Red Cross, but he had to refuse. So that was the moment for me to say, okay, I'm in. And 4 weeks later, I was in Cambodia. And in Cambodia, I worked there for half a year. And then it was an interesting job, but they asked medical background and business background. And I only had a medical background. So I couldn't apply for this job in Southeast Asia. So I went back to the Netherlands and I decided, okay, I think I'm going to leave healthcare. I'm going to study business. But I always wanted to work with people directly. So then I came into education, and within a couple of years I was the director of an international business program at the business school at Windesheim University of Applied Sciences. And there I could use my international activities, my international experiences with this young, I would say, gold. That's how I call them, because this is the new generation.
Yeah.
And so that was a very nice and interesting experience. And at that time I had the possibility to develop, because we have a very open economy in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You find Dutch people all over the world. You find industry, activities, trade all over the world. So I decided in the 80s, no, it was in the 90s, to develop a minor doing business with China. So students from all major programs could enroll in this minor, 30 credits, 1 semester. And in this semester, from the first day, there was contact between 1 Dutch student and 1 Chinese student from the University of Chongqing, CTBU. And about 7-8 weeks later, we had already an assignment from a Dutch company who would like to do business in China. So we merged the 2 teams, the Dutch students and the Chinese students, and they were working on 1 assignment for 1 Dutch company to see if there are possibilities in China. So we also visited China for 3 weeks. We stayed on the university with the students. They had some lectures, but they also had to do some field work.
And did the Dutch students also speak Chinese?
They had Chinese in this semester, but they learned that if you do business, international business, you have to know the culture, you have to know the language. And Chinese is a complicated language, very complicated. So you need to have a business person in the country. Because they know the history, they know the language, so you have to cooperate and to work together. So that is from scratch how they learn to work together with someone from another culture. And by doing this, they learned a lot from each other. Also working in a team.
Correct.
If you look to the different cultures, top down and more from bottom up. And you see what is going to happen. So my interest in this whole process, working with different cultures, especially with students, is to look how they act and how they react on them, but also on themselves. What do you learn in these experiences? And there started the interest for me about, okay, but who am I? And also for the students, who am I? So we are human beings, we are student at the same time, but we also have our roots. Where do we come from? What kind of family? So I started to focus more on these aspects of personal and professional development within the course.
Okay.
And that is also when you work with a team of colleagues, it's the same question. Who are they? Who am I? And what is their background? So as a leader of a team, I was more focused in the beginning on results, because I felt the most responsible person in the department. I had to target on the results, on the KPIs. But little by little, I experienced that I have to invest in the human beings, in the people. And then everything comes together, and to see what is the talent of this person. And what do I need in my team? What kind of roles, what kind of personalities to fulfill our, I would say, I don't like the word target, but the target of how to teach, coach our students.
What is systemic leadership, and why is it becoming increasingly important to have?
Systemic leadership is, so how is it within the team? I mean, if you look to a family, if you look to the roles, if you look to the positions of family members, it is the same like in a team with professionals, with colleagues, with human beings. How do they behave in a team? And then I did a lot of research on my team, not with the team, but outside with a supervisor. Because I wanted to change my educational approach, my educational system in the program. And within the framework, I had all the freedom.
That's very important, isn't it?
Yes, but therefore I needed also the same mission and vision of my team leaders and of my staff. So I did a lot of consultations with my team to know, okay, who are the informal leaders?
Yeah.
And where do they stand on certain moments within the team?
Yeah.
How do behave? And how do they influence other team members within the team? And what could I learn as a director of the program from these constellations? That was one thing. And I became very interested in human design. That was for me the next step. And numerology. So I know all the dates of birth from my colleagues.
Speaking of which, you know, your birthday and my birthday are 1 day apart.
Yeah.
You're on the 11th, I'm on the 12th.
Yes, of November.
Yes.
Yeah. So I started to have interest in this. And then from this information, from numerology, human design, constellations, I took this experience within my team, but also in teams of students. So, and that's another way of working. And that's what I like so much to see. We need knowledge, we need content, but to see the process of the developing of these young human beings.
Yes.
And they have to become the professionals of tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. But so mindfulness, for example,
Correct.
yoga. I mean, in business, we are running 24/7.
Yes.
So we need to relax. We need to understand how important it is for our mindset, for our creativity. So that is all what I introduced in my program, little by little, because the staff was very reluctant to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, it's learning by doing. I'm a very strong believer of this.
Yes.
And though I have not followed a management course or business course, it's just from experience. Currently, I do corporate training, and I give exactly the same feedback. Now, a lot of them will say, I don't have time for yoga, I don't have this. So my new trick is to tell them to go for a manicure and a pedicure.
Yeah.
Because while they're getting their nails done and their hands done, they get a nice massage. So maybe once in 2 weeks, maybe once in 4 weeks, they could, take little time out for themselves, especially now that you can invite somebody from the urban company to come home. So you don't even have to go somewhere for it.
Yeah.
And then just get it done at home. And probably your wife will sit next to you. And maybe your children or your mother will sit also. So it becomes a very relaxing moment in the family where people take time out from the daily, routines to just take care of themselves. So that is what I've kind of introduced to it.
Interesting, because this is my second week here. And last week I went to a manicure here.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there for 1 hour, just to relax. No earphones.
Yeah.
Just to relax.
And they have some nice massage chairs sometimes.
Yes.
So that's very, very comfortable and very good to experience.
Yeah.
You also have an idea about a lot of Indian businesses being family run and family owned, family leadership in them. What do you have to say about this kind of a format? It's not so very popular in Europe anymore, I think.
Yeah, if you look to the Netherlands, for example, 60% of the SMEs are family-owned businesses.
Okay.
So within our university, we also have a research center, and one of the topics is family business.
Okay.
And one of very important topic at the moment is succession. Who's taking over the family business?
Yes.
Because this young generation, they look to the parents, and they see that the parents work 24 hours, 7 days a week.
And they don't want to.
And they don't want it anymore. They want free time. So they search for a job where they can work 3 days and 4 days just to take for themselves.
Yes.
So this is really a huge challenge within the families.
Yeah.
But also in our region where we have all those SMEs.
Yeah.
So what to do?
Yeah. And what will happen then? There will be, let's say, external people being hired to run those companies.
Yeah, so the stocks will be within the family, and external people will take over the management. The daily management.
Yes.
But still, I mean, then families suffer.
Yes.
If you look to coming back to systemic and constellations, the owner, let's say, and the family, they are suffering because they would like to have a son or daughter taking over this family. But okay, we have to deal with it. If you look to India, especially Gujarat, there are a lot of SMEs, family-owned businesses.
Yes.
I worked for the last 14 days at LJ University, and I spoke with a lot of students. And fortunately, I was with an innovation lab for 2 days, where they presented their own businesses. So it was about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But in the conversations I had with them, most of them, they come from families who have their businesses.
Yes.
So I asked them, do you want to take over the business of your father or your mother or from your family? Some of them, they would like to take it over, but most of them, they would like to start their own businesses.
Own business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people would like to have the challenge themselves.
Yeah.
And not kind of carry forward something that already exists.
Yeah. There was a quote from a student from pharmacy. She said, people in Gujarat, they don't like to have a job.
That's true.
They like to have their own business.
That's true.
Because this is in the DNA of the people in Gujarat about entrepreneurship.
So this is where I have an issue with the word entrepreneurship. Because in my opinion, entrepreneurship is not only doing business or starting a business, but it's starting a business with something new, right? Whereas most of these companies or businesses that are started are just copy-pasted from a previous example that they've had, somebody in the family, and splitting from there and then continuing. So very few entrepreneurs in this area are actually entrepreneurs in the true sense, doing something really new, amazing, new technology, innovation, building on innovations, adding innovations. So when I question a lot of my colleagues or even students where I teach, I see that innovation, everybody knows the word, but very few actually know what it is and how to be innovative. A simple thing like, can you take 3-4 things from this room and create something new? It doesn't have to work, but just have an idea about it, and I'll give you 5 minutes to think of something. And they can't. So typically in the Indian scenario where we curb children's thinking from childhood, don't ask questions, do what I tell you. Don't have such stupid thoughts. This is like stupid. So don't do that to children. Let them evolve, let them be creative, let them have this wide, space in which they can think. In the design schools, if I ask, how many of you played with Lego as a child? Almost 80 to 90% have had a childhood where they've played with mechanics or Lego, or something where they have used their own creativity to build. And that is why they end up in a design school at the end of it. But that shouldn't be the case. They should be also in science and in other areas where they can express and use this creative thought process and approach for doing what they do. So I think also in management that would be true.
Yes. And if you look to entrepreneurship, I had, as PUM consultant here, I'm not teaching.
Yes.
But they asked me to give a lecture for MBA students last week. And I also talked with them about entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship starts in yourself. You are the entrepreneur of your own life.
Yes.
You are the entrepreneur of your educational journey here at LJ. But in general, you are your entrepreneur of your studies. And you're also responsible for this. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, so for example, I did a lot of research with students for export. Because most of the Dutch companies,
they want to export.
They export or import, talking about international business. An export, I mean, you can do it in the same way, and there are some formats for it. But if you talk indeed about innovation, so maybe what are new entry strategies?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
To come into the market.
Yeah.
And not the same way, or you copy paste it from
Yes,
another company,
yes.
or you benchmark it and then you take it
Yes.
over. So what is the real innovation in this? When I started with an English Thought International Business program at my university, I had the chance from the Ministry of Education to create it from scratch. And just what you said, I want to have art in my program. I want to have design in my
Yes.
students also in my program,
Yes.
and teachers. So my colleague from India, Aditi Gupta,
Yeah.
she introduced, together with the people from ATES, which is the art academy at
Yeah.
our university, she developed a program with our business students.
Super.
But the business students, they didn't like it at all. They had to come out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that was really difficult for them.
Yeah.
So they came to my office and they said, "Sir, can you skip this program in the fourth year, because we don't like it at all."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, you have to go through it. Afterwards, we will talk about it." And now I still have contact with the alumni of this team of students. And now they see what they learned at that moment. Later
Correct.
on, they see what is the profit of it.
Yes.
And I totally agree that also in business, or it is in engineering, that we have to introduce other faculties.
Yes.
Like design, creativity, etc. And then it also comes to soft skills.
Yeah.
Creativity, communication, working in a team, doing research, etc. Because yesterday there was an interesting meeting at the university from people from industry. Staff from the university was sitting behind, only listening to the questions who were asked to industry. What are the tips and what are the tops?
Yeah.
Because I don't like to speak about good and bad.
Yeah.
What are the tips and what are the tops? And one of the things industry said was communication.
Correct.
Yeah. But also kind of skips working in a team, working together.
Yes.
But also knowing each other.
Yeah.
Because students can be in a classroom for 1 year that they don't even
Know
know
each
their
other.
names.
Yes.
And there it starts. And then I don't want to point to the students, because 3 fingers are reaching me, my staff.
Yeah.
So we also have to take the responsibility. And what is our vision now to educate, how to support, facilitate, coach this young generation? Because nowadays I feel more a coach than that I'm a professor teaching knowledge.
Absolutely agree with you. So normally where I have been teaching, also communication is something that they bring in almost in the 3rd, 4th and maybe later semester. I helped found a design school, and I ensured that communication started with the 1st semester, because a student is expected to do presentations for his juries or her juries, and when they struggle, the jury member will kill them.
Yep.
And I didn't want that to happen. The other reason why I did it was some years ago, we had a Dutch dean at the School of Architecture. His name was Anne Veenstra. And Anne went to an Archiprix, I think somewhere in Barcelona or something like that, and also came back saying that, you know, Gauri, the CEP students do fantastic work, but they just don't know how to present it. And I was thinking, can we change that? And somehow your name popped in my mind. So what do you think? And I said, well, I haven't done things like this before, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So I worked with his studio and his students, master students, and I helped them to change their mindset basically on what it is to present, how to take care of their insecurities, their fears, you know, to stand in front of people and actually present. So in that process, I was able to actually help these students to get through their juries in fantastic way.
Yep.
So I also believe that communication is a very big tool if you cannot explain what you've done, whether it's a mathematical algorithm or it's a new scientific innovation, then you've lost half of your work already. And I think the US also recognized this at some point. So now they offer dual degrees where you do one beta and one alpha course together, so that you get the skills of both going. It's very difficult sometimes to get parents to understand this, but it is a must. It is a must.
And when it comes to communication, it also comes to teamwork.
Yes.
Nowadays, I mean, you work in a team, always in a team, when you are in industry, when you are at a company, NGO, whatever.
And it's a multi-age and multi-background team.
So I also teach in China, in South Korea. And then I have 25 students, 6 hours per week, 5 days a week, 3 weeks long.
Wow.
And I spend 2 days on creating a team. So first they make their own SWOT. They make the Big 5 personality test. They do Belbin. And with this information about themselves, about the roles they have, I put the assignments on the wall. I said, okay, these are the assignments from the companies. Which assignment do you like? I leave the room, and within 3 hours I want to have in each team 5 members, and I want to know who is the chair. So then they have to discuss, they have to share their roles, because if you have all the same roles of Belbin in your team, you will not succeed. So to invest in this, then they have to make it, after that, they have to make a team agreement. And it doesn't matter how many rules, maybe you have 10 rules, you have 5 rules, and then it comes to communication. So when you are too late because of a traffic jam, no problem, but communicate. Inform your team. If you don't inform your team and they are waiting, what to do?
Yeah.
So, and this kind of things I introduce already in this teamwork. And if you, after the second day, the last 3 hours, they were sitting. And I observed them from outside.
Yeah.
And then someone stands up, he's the national leader.
And
then the whole process starts.
Yes.
And in this process, I've given them feedback, but also in the way we start then to work on an assignment, feedback, reflect, peer feedback, peer feed forward, reflection from themselves, but also from professors. So this creates this personal development where they can grow, and they have to make failures.
Yes.
Otherwise they don't learn.
Yes.
But this is a safe environment to make failures. And this is what I like to with young people and to coach them. It's more coaching than teaching.
Right. What do you think that roles of managers should be in companies? You know, as a manager to a team that you work with, very often, at least in the Indian hierarchy system, it can become almost like a mini god.
Yep.
Yeah. But how would you advise a team to go about with this?
Yeah. You know, talking about culture, and if you talk about hierarchy and changing the culture, it's not the way.
Yeah.
Because we are in India, but so we can also start with the young people. I spoke with the director of a primary school this week, and she introduced holistic education. She already talked with the children about SDGs. Yeah, in another way, with other words, it was all about SDGs.
Yeah,
it's about a kind of leadership within small groups. And if you are in industry, it's always, in my opinion, we have to work together, education and industry. And also we have to invite the new leaders in industry, what we are doing in education.
Yeah.
Because there's a big gap. They don't know what is happening in education, and education doesn't know what's happening in industry.
Yes.
Now I'm generalized because I see
you're
a lot of good
absolutely
examples.
Right. But one of the things that I would really like to do is, and I'm going to start within the next month, that over the weekend take kids out to explore factories, to explore heritage and things like that with an expert, so that they actually get, a good view of not just looking at heritage, that's our history, that's our past, but it's theirs, it's still there.
Yeah.
So then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I saw, for example, the last 2 weeks at the university, I had the possibility to speak with all students, with staff, with the president, the vice president, directors. It's an open atmosphere. And if you talk about hierarchy, there it's bottom up.
Yeah.
And in the board of studies, that is the board with industry, with the director who make the decisions for the program.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of space
for
staff to come with new ideas. And they are also supported by the president. And of course, sometimes you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
If you look to the Netherlands, you have been in the Netherlands and you know the culture in the Netherlands. Compromise, compromise, compromise. So we have a good idea, but because of all these compromises, the idea is maybe for 70% for what it was. Yeah. And that's the other side.
Other side of it.
But I like to work top down, because if you look for a solution within your company, you want to optimize processes, first ask your own people.
Yeah.
Because they are talented, they have the knowledge. But if we don't ask them, it's isolated, it's hidden. So that is also creating an atmosphere that, okay, what do you think? What do you think? Come on, we have to improve it. And then you can work with incentives if it's within the culture.
So now that you have this experience of India, how would you go about setting up a course for, let's say, Indian students working with maybe Dutch students or other international students? Do you think that's an idea worth working on?
Yes, because we can learn a lot from each other. And of course, I mean, the Dutch students and the Indian students, when they are on an international trade or whatever international, we can learn from each cultures, and we have to know about each cultures. And what I learned here in India, because this is my first time here, and I don't feel like a tourist, so I was a little bit more under the surface. In all the discussions with the food, with the something from the history, from the city, beautiful. Indian students are hardworking students.
Yes.
They work 6 days a week. When they do a work placement, they even do 7 days a week. They are not so addicted to cell phones like the students in the Netherlands.
Oh, I think you've got the wrong impression, I think.
If
you hear my colleagues.
If I walked around in the entire university, LJ, I was really surprised.
Okay.
It was a safe environment. I asked many students, why do you study at LJ? Because 30% is practice, 70% and 30% is theory. And they like the intervention with industry, because constantly
you have to.
There's intervention with industry. There are assignments with industry. The Indian students, I feel they are more internal motivated.
Yeah.
Dutch students, they are more external motivated, especially those in business, and especially those in marketing. Yeah, a car, a watch, a mobile phone.
It's here as well. It's here as well.
That's important.
Yeah.
And it's nice working with them here.
Okay.
So I can take...
So I look forward to a nice program coming up.
Yeah.
And please count me in. I'd love to be kind of also watching what's happening.
So yesterday we had an evaluation with the directors of the university and the president. And at the end he said, okay, I would like to invite 20 professors from the Netherlands to give lectures at our university. To start with internationalization at home.
Yeah.
So in another way of teaching, another way of doing assignments with company, and to show not only the students, but also to work with staff, how we operate. But it is always a win-win situation.
Sure.
We can learn from them. We can learn from you.
So it's a nice cross-cultural, what is it called? Cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic chat. Any last thoughts for the Gen Z that is now in, discussion everywhere you go, whether in business or in any form?
Yeah.
From your experience that you would like to share?
Yeah. I would say fulfill your dream. Yeah. Don't wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stick on it. Sometimes it's going from A to B or from A to X and back to B. Network.
Yes.
Yeah. Start already with networking within the university.
Yeah.
Yeah. Know your colleagues, know your peers, talk with them, do things together. So this is very important, and stuck on your stip on the horizon, the point, your dot on the horizon. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Pieter.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.